Thanks for joining us here on the AskAlliance podcast, beautiful Georgetown, Texas. Today we have a great local nonprofit that we're going to talk to about the Flatwater Foundation and an event they have coming up, Damn That Cancer. You know, nonprofits fill the gap between where for-profit companies meet the demand in the market and where governments can provide service, but there's still a gap for folks, and organizations like Flatwater help fill that. So we have Mark Garza here, who's a founder and CEO. Is that right?
I was executive director for 13 years, but I'm now on the board. I'm now on the board.
On the board. Okay. And his wife and my colleague here at Alliance, Jesica Garza, as well. But Mark, start off. Tell us Flatwater Foundation. Explain the name to me. What does that mean? And then also tell me about the mission of Flatwater. What it was created for?
Yeah. So Flatwater was an organization that was created to provide access to mental health support, to therapy for families in need, for those in need touched by a cancer diagnosis. And that's directly or indirectly as a caregiver, a loved one, because so many lives are affected. And the name comes from that idea that one diagnosis does cause waves in all directions. It can shake a community, shake a family. We have this drive, this mission to bring families, to bring communities back to what we call Flatwater through mental health support.
And so the 2010 is when you started. And what gave you the idea? What was the reason you started this organization?
Yeah, personal experience is, often sort of the genesis of a lot of this, right? Necessity being the mother of all invention. I went through my dad's terminal diagnosis and prostate cancer and saw how many people are affected. I saw what it did to a wife. I'm the youngest of four. I have a brother and two sisters. And so seeing what it took to get through that, I found kind of a fun story. I was given a paddleboard around the time of this diagnosis through a friend who was starting a company in Austin. And at the time, nobody was paddleboarding. So I was solo at 6 a.m. on a paddleboard on Lady Bird Lake, and it was really helping me get through this news. Mm-hmm. But I knew something was missing. And so through that piece and connecting with nature, I was able to begin the journey to find a therapist and then realize how expensive it was going to be when I got in the chair. Mm-hmm. And that led ultimately to an event and then an organization. As my calling, I found a purpose to provide access and rid that financial burden.
And so when the folks you're helping come to you, y'all don't have, you're working with local providers more so than having direct staff that are providing the service, correct?
Right. It was important as an organization to stay as lean as possible for as long as possible. Okay. No money out, no pay. For 4 years, I built it as a volunteer myself and then hired one person. And we were able to create a network of practices pre-vetted that showed they wanted to work with this population. Yeah.
Now, Jesica, when he started this in 2010. Were y'all married at the time? Were you involved back then? When did you get involved, if not?
He was a complete stranger to me at that point.
Both in Austin.
We met in 2016, and so I got to learn about the organization.
Did you know about the organization before you met him? Had you heard about it before then?
No. My first introduction was really probably the challenge in the Netherlands, if you want to share any about that. But Flatwater does multiple different types of excursions and challenges to raise money throughout the year, not just Damn That Cancer. And Mark and I met on an airplane. We sat next to each other. And so we really connected on the mental health side of Flatwater and just the importance of taking care of your mental health. And I learned about the Netherlands paddle that he had just recently done, 130 miles right around the Netherlands.
So you were on a flight together, not related to Flatwater whatsoever. You just happened to be on the same flight as he was.
I was curious if she was going to bring that up because it was interesting. There is important gravity there that we did meet, and I think that talking about the importance of mental health publicly, it was something. Why am I emotional about it? I get emotional about it because it was something as I think about, I was going through and had just lost my father, and I think being able to talk about it, to get it out, I think that's what Flatwater's trying to bring out of people, that this isn't something you need to keep in. And, the first time we ever met, literally on an airplane sitting side by side, we had a long conversation about mental health. And I think the connection that you can make around that is I think that was a lot of sort of what started a relationship around the importance of this, right?
Removing the stigma.
Right, exactly. And that's what Flatwater's about.
Yeah, I think that's so important. I think that's why so many people connect with the mission and are so successful in the peer-to-peer fundraising too, because everyone has a story.
Well, it's no surprise that y'all just happened to spark up a conversation randomly on an airplane. I think one way, Jessica, you ended up joining us here was from me and you seeing each other at the school and sparking up a conversation. It's kind of how that all started. Yeah, there you go.
It's not known for that.
I have the same problem. I can have a conversation with a brick wall. So for Flatwater, what is your service area? Where all do you provide service?
Yeah, I'm glad you bring that up. When you're hit by something like this news, and I want to build it up, and so building the organization, and then two of us are building it, I want to help everybody. And as an organization and two people just figuring out how to raise money, you really have to put those confines in. And so as we start to grow and grow and grow, we defined Williamson and Travis County as our sort of core. And we have now the ability to service the 8 surrounding counties. So basically, the 10 counties of Central Texas are our core focus for our program.
Well, that's basically the Austin MSA. So I look back, since you started, it was like the Austin MSA, the estimated population was about 1.7 million, and it's now about 2.3 million. So have you seen an increased demand for service, and has funding matched that increased demand if that has occurred?
Yeah, I think what's important about there are a lot of factors at play since I started this in 2010, and it's now 2026, and 2020 was a very transformative year for the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mental health. I joke often about, I started an organization in 2010 before people were thinking about mental health. And in 2020, it feels like people discovered the outdoors and mental health, which was what gave birth to this mission, right? And so not only did we see a massive influx, cancer is just, it's everywhere. It seems to be just more and more prevalent in our lives. But that sort of going from trying to tell people you need to take care of your mind, which was my mission in 2010, to we really need to be here for the community, and now we need to raise money more than ever. This is a responsibility. So post-COVID, that really had a lot to do with it. Couple that with the fastest growing MSA in America.
Well, when you think about the need or someone having cancer, everybody's has a lot of compassion and care and worry about that individual with the diagnosis, rightfully so. We don't always think about those around them. And so you identified an issue and a need that wasn't being met, and that's why your organization has been successful, and because there's a true need there that needed to be met.
It wasn't started because we were like, we need to go start a nonprofit.
Yeah.
What happened was this paddleboard that was gifted to me, I saw, okay, how are we going to get people to think about this? And I come from a background of global ad agencies and marketing and, just getting eyeballs. So let's go paddleboard this thing that's been saving my life. Let's go do it for as long as we can. We found this 21-mile stretch and just do it as a stunt with a guy who's on the radio, morning show, JB and Sandy in the morning, guy who owns a magazine. We just put people with reach together, and $35,000 came in, and we were on every news station or on the radio. And I thought, this city has really heard this message. We raised $35,000 and weren't even putting on a fundraiser. So we gifted that at the time to Livestrong at the Y, and that was sort of the message. Mental health, Austin is the perfect place to start an organization around this.
So that was the first Damn That Cancer, your big event coming up June 8th?
It is June 8th. It is.
And so the first time you did it, it wasn't Damn That Cancer, I guess. The time it was just a stunt, or did you?
It was Damn That Cancer.
Oh, you had that?
Nothing gets by me without getting a brand slapped on it. I had my roommate, my former roommate, and it was a creative director with me at GSD&M. We were roommates, and he's a cancer survivor at SMU in football. In college, he had cancer, testicular cancer. And I said, you got all the creative skills. I want to brand this thing. I want to go do this and this. So we did all the stuff.
So that was 2010 was the first.
It was.
Jessica, what's the first year you paddled and dammed that cancer? You
It
remember?
was 2018.
2018. Every year since.
No, I had a baby 1 year, took a couple years off. I had back surgery. I've had a couple years off here and there, but I have paddled, I think, 5 times now.
5 times. Yeah, and she's always very involved. There are so many ways to be involved with the event. I mean, this is 230 people, a lake.
So 230 are actually paddling.
Paddling.
Or some of them are tag teaming, but a couple hundred people out there. And then we have a string of support boats, a string of safety. There's water. I mean, there's lunch. It's a pretty massive day, and Jess has been very involved.
And it doesn't just start on that day. I mean, people are fundraising for months before this event. Every single paddler is committed to raising a certain amount of money.
So they get pledges from people, kind of like our kids do at school. For every mile you run, you get $1 or whatever it is, something like that.
Yes and no. No, we don't do it in the pledge in the pledge perspective, which is like the swim-a-thon. So I love it. Yeah, you're just taking me back to the 80s. We actually go out and it's what we call a fundraise to participate. So these people go and actually do fundraising campaigns and are given a page to go raise a certain amount of funds that basically, like we said, fundraise to participate. So they actually do events, get donations, and raise the money.
Yeah. Jump rope for heart was the one that we did when I was in school. Yeah, you remember that?
Absolutely.
But,
The American Heart.
but I love the uniqueness of the event. Here in Georgetown, there's a lot of nonprofits in Georgetown and obviously the surrounding area, and everybody has a golf tournament. Everybody, they'll do a skeet shoot. They'll do a auction, and so whenever you have a unique fundraising event like this, it's a lot of fun. So you said 220, 230 paddling, and then obviously you have corporate sponsors too.
Right.
So how many, what's your, I know Tyler's is one of your main sponsors?
Massive sponsor, and it has been for a very long time. Yes.
And do you have other major corporate sponsors as well?
We have quite a few. At different levels that come in. We're very proud to work with Alliance, to work with the bank, to be a partner of the event. Tyler's is a great one because they're such a part of the community. When I went to the founder, and he described he's never put a single dollar into advertising.
Really?
I was going to him to get creative and say, "I'd love you. Everybody wears your shirt."
Yeah. He doesn't need advertising, got his shirts on, yeah.
And so I said, well, I'd love to give that. Why do people wear it? And he didn't know, and people don't know. I said, well, I'd love to give it a purpose, and I have started this organization. I'd like to do one design that's going to raise money, and he loved that idea. But I said, wait, if you like that, I also have this other event, and we need to make sure that it can happen. We need a partner, and they've come in and brought in all of their partners, their brands, the shoe companies, the jerseys, the outfits. Like everybody gets shoes, gear, speakers, sunglasses, and so they're vendors, right? The people that are selling in their store, they all want to be involved as well. So we've grown this thing. It didn't hurt too that I happened to do this in a sport in 2010, 2011 being the second event that exploded. I mean, you think about sports like pickleball, paddleboarding. This was at kind of the beginning. And so we were very fortunate, so God kind of had a plan for us in that sense that like this is going to grow and take us with it. And mental health became more and more prevalent, important, and paddleboarding kind of.
Yeah, I know you go down Mopac on a pretty summer day and it's full of paddleboarders now.
And I think about being solo. They're just the only
one out.
Yeah, maybe 5 people out of board back in the day.
So it's a 21-mile stretch from dam to dam.
Yes.
It's not a race though. You're the whole goal, I believe you said you want everybody to stick together for the most part, right?
The message is together we're stronger. Together we're stronger, right? That's Flatwater. I never could have imagined the community that would be built around this, what we call Flatwater family. But that's really what's play out there. While you're paddling, it's one of the only sports you can share your story and make new friends and kind of that, oh, me too, I lost my dad.
I know you said it's not a race, but Jessica did tell me that she's beat you every time that she's done the event. But I'm just curious, 21 miles on a paddleboard, what time do you start in the morning and how long does that take?
It's 10 hours. We take 10 hours to do it. You can do it faster, but like I said, there are a lot of different levels, and the mission is to not leave people behind. And so we do it kind of as an accordion. We have a very nice lunch planned at a donor's house that they donate their yard.
Oh, that's cool.
It's a day of we get on buses at 5:30 in the morning down at the end by Hula Hut, take them up to to Mansfield Dam, getting on the water at 7, getting off around 5. So it's an all day thing, but it's definitely an experience.
Probably pretty tired after. Probably sleep good that night.
Yeah, we used to. Chelsea Hardy has run the organization with me for the first 13 years or so, and she and I used to always joke because we would do this just the two of us, and we would be the only paddlers that were there for the party. So all this culminates in this after party at the end, which is sort of the big celebration. That's our event. Damn That Cancer is actually this event, a community event at the end of the paddle, and we all paddle to get there. And the paddlers are just sweet. Yes, the families, everybody's there to celebrate and to be with them. And that's really the big community invite, is everybody to come out to the Redbud Center.
I think we needed with our sponsorship, Jessica, we should have required that Todd Moore, our executive chairman, had to also paddle as well. I think that'd do a good addition to 21 miles. He can do it, I'm sure. So so this is in Austin, obviously. You serve a greater area than just Austin, the MSA. Have you thought about a second Damn That Cancer somewhere?
People talk to us all the time. I mean, for 16 years, I've had this conversation. Nobody in America has really made this audacious commitment to covering 100% of the cost for a while, indefinitely. Now we do 40 hours, 40 sessions is what we do for sort of our program, right? And for over a decade, it was an unlimited amount. We had to bring that in from a financial modeling perspective, but everybody needs it. It's a pretty audacious commitment. And so what we want to do is inspire others with our model, with what we do.
Other nonprofits.
Other nonprofits, right? Other nonprofits, other people in their community. Growth, is a thing, but I really believe that the need is so massive here in our community, in our area, that we have a lot of work to do to cover our neighbors. So we can inspire others to do what we do, and I'm always there to talk to others about how I did it, how we do it.
Yeah.
And there's no trade secrets here. We need to raise the tides.
No, don't hold back. Share with everybody and try to benefit more people.
Yeah. And inspire.
Yeah, absolutely. Mark, tell me, you've been doing this event for several years. What's the best memory from it? Funniest thing that happened, whatever it is, whatever that may be.
Well, I will say the most important sort of takeaway from all of this work and what we've done has always been, we are here, we are sitting in a community bank, but regardless of where I'm talking about this, in any environment, on the news or stories, if you see kind of the history, it's really the community I never could have imagined. I know I mentioned it before, but we see where the outcome was sort of a coping mechanism. I have to be very honest about, I buried myself in doing this and what I was going through and trying to solve this problem and then build this organization. The people that have come out, and I'll get emotional if I don't check myself here, but the people that have come out, I have friends that I grew up with in Austin, and I knew them, and I have now known them 45 plus years, that I grew up with many of them, never knowing their story, or why they didn't have a dad, or where their mom, what their family story was, because they didn't share it. And we've reconnected decades later, and they found that they have this platform, this ability to connect with other people about this and talk publicly and share their story and come together. And for me, that's been probably one of the most transformative things, and that's on the personal side. But I never could have imagined across the board that was really what was going to give life and fire to the organization, was just the amount. I mean, yes, I am the founder, but it has never been about me. This is about, doing God's work and bringing these people together and what that means and where we are today with that. If you come out, on June 8th to the event and see the togetherness and the acceptance and it's not, it's a coming together that we don't really see every day. And so when we call Damn That Cancer season, we do community workouts, we do community practice paddles. These people go to the gym together. We have planned events. It's like camp. And so these people come back together and are so fulfilled with their camp friends because people repeat,
Oh yeah.
new people join, and then kind of get that bug. So that was a long answer, but really to me, it's just the power of finding a community that's not out there, and that's people that have been hit by this horrible disease with a positive spin, right? We're trying to really put a positive mental spin on it, and we are there for you, and you need to be there for yourself.
Yeah. Jessica, what about you? What's the most memorable thing about the event since you've been involved?
I think Mark touched on it very briefly that for many years he ran this organization with just two people. It was him and Chelsea Hardy that did everything. And how many years was that?
We had 12 years.
12 years.
11.
Only recently, in the last few years, has Mark stepped away from the day-to-day operations and really, built a team to bring it and elevate the foundation to where it is now. And I think that season that you and Chelsea worked together was only possible because of the community that you guys built. I remember, back in the early days, Mark would literally handwrite every check to every therapist every single month. And every month he would fan out the envelopes on the coffee table and take a picture of it, put it on social media, and everybody loved it because it was such a personal moment. It was like he could see laid out right there the actual impact that everybody, has on this organization.
The visual impact.
It really was.
Yeah, it was a business. It is a business. Nonprofits, it's important for me to say that nonprofits, the only difference between nonprofits and for-profits you mentioned is there's no equity. There's no ownership. You don't sell it, you don't get a multiplier. But it's a business.
Yep.
And so the connection that we were able to make with the community and our business, the business we were all in, which was the community was in the business of solving this problem, removing that financial burden for getting mental health. I love that. It just got too big.
Yeah. Well, the for-profit companies, they're driven to provide a good service to make a profit. They have to get a profit for their returns for their investors or whatever. If they don't continue to exist. But nonprofits are service-driven. Provide a service, whatever that service may be. And so profits, the bottom line isn't what's most important. It's providing the service.
Yes, and we're very driven by being sure that the people that entrust us with their investment, that's not truly an investment, but they've invested their support, their courage, their belief, their faith in us, that we are delivering that service to the best of our ability, and then over time, stepping aside and making sure we put the best possible people in the roles, they're experts to deliver that service so that we can grow this as a community.
Yeah. It's obviously a community event, and it sounds like it's all about, at the end of the day, relationships and human interaction.
Right.
Especially in today's day and age with cell phones and screen time, people touching grass, talking to each other in person. Exactly. Building relationships is important. One of the things I was looking through your marketing information, there was a quote in here from an anonymous program participant. I thought that was pretty good. I wanted to read it. It said, I cannot begin to tell you how much this program has helped me and my children. I didn't know how to talk to them, especially when I was going through my own hell. Our Flatwater therapist was able to help them understand their feelings and how to express them to me and their father, as well as learn more about the disease. And that's why when I read that, I was like, I never really thought about those children who as a parent or someone going through it and how they cope and deal with it. So the need that you identified, unfortunately, the way you had to identify it was obvious, and it's an important thing that you guys are doing for people.
Thank you. Yeah, I've learned a lot about why it matters as well. I saw the call and saw the need, but we learn every day.
Yeah.
There's so many reasons why we need to continue to thrive.
Yeah. Well, Jessica, do you have anything else you'd like to tell us about Flatwater and your experience there, the time being at it? I guess there's a dinner after.
There is.
And that's at the
very end. At the end of the paddle, there's the post-paddle party, which is where the community comes and high fives all the paddlers and watches them struggle to get their boards out of the water.
So is that open? Is that something that's like a ticketed event that's open?
It's
Open.
Open to the public. Okay.
That's the real big celebration, is that we call everybody out June 8th in that evening, after 5:30, everybody's getting off the water. But that evening at the Red Bud Center, that's open to anybody and everybody that wants to learn more, might know a paddler. You can go check out at flatwater.org. You can find our event on the events page and see if you maybe know a paddler on the list. Everybody's listed there doing their fundraising. And that's what the celebration's all about. I do also want to say she's being very humble about that as well, because not only has she paddled so many years, but a lot goes into making it happen in the background. And it takes a lot of my time and a lot of work and a lot of effort. But she has, since 2016, for 10 years, for a decade, been helping me in the community make it happen. We've got children, we've got kids, we've got a big life, and she's played a massive role in that.
Well, Mark, we appreciate you joining us here. You guys are doing great work. We are proud to sponsor the event this year. It's our first time. Jessica, thank you for getting us in on that.
I do think it's important to share that Damn That Cancer is 100% paid for by the sponsors, and so all of the money that's raised goes directly to the program.
If anybody,
Last year we raised $1.5 million.
$5 million. Yeah.
if there's anybody watching this and they personally want to give, where can they go to donate?
Yeah, so you can go to flatwater.org. We've rebranded the organization to just Flatwater, which has been great to sort of connect more with the community and what we do. But flatwater.org, you can just make a general donation. But if you'd like to support the event and help us reach our goal of 1.5 million, you can go on the events page. There is a Damn That Cancer site, and make a general to the campaign, or maybe find a paddler that might know or might want your support or need your support to get to their goal to participate. And then come on out to the event, the LCRA Red Bud Center, June 8th.
Nice. Well, we look forward to the event, and I think what you guys are doing is very important, and it shows the importance of building community, relationships, and taking care of one another. And so, Mark, thank you for joining us. Jessica, thanks for jumping in with us as well. And I guess we'll see you next time on the next Ask Alliance podcast.